pronounce to you for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Jamichael Lipscomb.
Good evening, family, friends, and those who know Jamichael. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Emma, and I'm Grace's younger sister. I haven't been to many weddings, and I don't remember any of them, so when Grace told me it was my job as maid of honor to give a speech, I said I would be busy and unable to attend. I also refused to even try to write it until the day of the rehearsal dinner. Grace told me that it was my job to cry. She said that I should be sobbing both days. I said I would not be doing that. According to Google, I should now be introducing some stories or memories. I then realized that I have an awful memory, even though Grace and I probably have many. One of my favorite memories is when Grace pierced my ear. I did just say ear instead of ears on purpose because she only did one. Although I was the one who actually got pierced, Grace had to take 5 billion years because she was the one who felt lightheaded. She also told me when I found out that I was getting braces that people with slightly imperfect teeth are found to be more attractive than perfectly straight teeth. But I think she just said that because I got braces and she didn't. I know she had to say that solely because she was the oldest sister. When I was, wait, I lost it. When I found out they were moving to Tennessee, and not just making a joke, I did lock myself in my room and cried because that meant that I would be the oldest sister in the house. Apparently, that isn't enough to give me my own room, though. But in all seriousness, I wish the best for you and Jamichael, and words cannot describe how much I'll miss you, but song can.
Alright, so for those who don't know me, my name is Cody Penarvis. What's up, Jamichael? Oh my gosh, dude. Woo. So, me and Jamichael go way back. We go back since, I'd say, third or fourth grade. Since Jamichael was taller than me, so that was a long time. So you can see a lot's changed since then. So, we weren't really close, I'd say, until ninth grade when we reunited at Nation Ford High School. That's where our adventures began. Yeah. So my dad likes to call us PB&J, Ebony and Ivory, but I like to call us Salt and Pepper. But he always insists that he's the salt and I'm the pepper, which I still don't get that. So yes. So we have so many memories, such as being in student council together and many other adventures. But I'm just gonna share just a few. So go ahead. So this story goes back to 10th grade, and we found out there was gonna be a talent show. And if you know Jamichael, like Jamichael loves being on stage, right? Y'all know that? So Jamichael gets a group of 5 people, and we start where he's like, dude, we're gonna do this lip sync contest. We're gonna be in sync. Okay, so every day after school we plan and we practice for how many hours? Probably like an hour and a half after school. So we had this whole routine down. I knew the whole dance, but Jamichael was up front leading the whole thing. Like, you know, he's a star. Well, yeah, I was just the backup, like always. So the day of the talent show comes up, and everybody backs out of the audition except Jamichael. So Jamichael goes up and auditions for NSYNC, which, if you know NSYNC, that's a group of 5 people dancing. And he does the whole skit by himself. How did it go, Jamichael? It was wonderful. Jamichael's a star. Jamichael's always been into planning large things. He always had a very creative mind. He still does. Just like that one time he tried to plan a flash mob in the middle of the cafeteria at Nation Ford. And let me see where I'm at. He was also he was the only one that showed up to the flash mob. But the only one, so he and I's relationship has always been fun and spontaneous, I'd say. But no matter what, me and him are always we're always having fun, always goofing around. But I can't go anywhere without somebody asking, hey, how's Jamichael doing? What's Jamichael up to? Like, where's Jamichael? Why aren't y'all together? Everywhere I go. It hasn't been a week since we graduated high school that people are always asking me about Jamichael. So that's always our relationship. But something that meant a lot to me, I'd say, was when I was campaigning for student council stuff. Jamichael at school was definitely my #1 supporter. I was really nervous going into the situation, but Jamichael made it easy and fun, and he went up to every single person. And trust me, if y'all haven't figured out, Jamichael knows a lot of people, right? And he was like, Cody, vote for Cody, vote for Cody. So that always meant a lot to me. I don't know if I ever told you that. All right, so, let's see. But that's when so this past year, we worked together in Victory Sports alongside each other, which is our family sports ministry. So we served alongside each other. He coached basketball, we did wrestling together, and that's where I kind of got to be closer to Grace. But anyways, I feel like we definitely became a lot closer in that time in the ministry position, as my parents were able to mentor him in that position, so that was really cool. But I really feel like Jamichael, I was able to see more and more his love and his passion for kids and for youth, for people. And I know that Jamichael's just going to be an amazing at his new role in Tennessee, as he's a next-gen pastor, is that the term? So he's going to be amazing at that. So I remember when Jamichael first told me about Grace in October. So we were playing Fortnite. We're cool, right, Jamichael? We were playing Fortnite. He was on the headset. He's like, yo, bro, guess what? I was like, what? No, he's like, bro, guess what? Guess what? What, Jamichael? He's like, I met a girl. And he's like, so he told me he met her at Scare Ones. Am I right? I don't want to get it wrong. Scare Ones? He's like, oh, this girl's amazing. Like, this old man, woo! He said, yeah, this is exactly how it went. So he sent me, So he sent me the picture. I was like, wow, she's awesome. She's beautiful. So, and I got to meet her, and Grace is one of the coolest people I've ever met. But I was like, the way Jamichael talks about Grace, like you can tell that he really loves Grace. Like he loves Grace just by his words, his actions, and especially words, because you know Jamichael is definitely a words of affirmation kind of guy, right? And yes, exactly. So we have so many memories, from Christmas caroling with Mr. Retha's workplace to Mr. Retha, to musicals together, to Miss K's leadership class goofing off, never listening, just being us. And I'm definitely excited for you guys in this new adventure. Grace, you have such a wonderful family. I love getting to know the Wellses this past year. Like, we love you guys so much. Miss Heather, you're the best. Love you, Miss Jamichael, I love y'all's family. Mr. Retha, we go back. I love you so much. And y'all are definitely marrying into two amazing families. So I love you, man. Love y'all.
I'm from Minnesota. If any of you had tater tot hot dish, that's from Minnesota. But Grace does not like it, so I didn't tell her I was making it until it arrived here. Anyway, I don't have much to say. I'm just so thankful to be here. Grace is who made me an auntie, and I have loved you since the minute you were a thought. Heather's my sister, by the way. Heather was pregnant with Grace. Actually, this is kind of funny. Heather was pregnant with Grace, and she and Preston had just bought a new house, and she couldn't handle the smell of the house the first couple months of her pregnancy. So Heather couldn't stay there, so I'd go take care of her, and someone had to be around her because she was sick all the time. And one day, Heather was really sick. And so I wheeled her into the hospital. Well, first I called and they're like, she's probably okay, but I'd never really been around many pregnant people. And so I wheeled her in a wheelchair into the emergency room, and there's someone there like cut, like arm bleeding. And I was like, she's pregnant! She's sick, she's pregnant! And they're like, okay ma'am, just sit down. I'm like, she's pregnant! And a few months later, Grace was born, and when I held Grace, there was a love that was born that day that I can't ever explain. It changed my life forever. And there's a picture of me holding her somewhere, and I feel like I can just see that picture. I just saw just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful young woman before she was even opening her eyes. You're a really lucky guy, Jamaica. So, Grace and Jamaica, congratulations. I taught her most everything she knows. That's why she's such a great big sister. I'm sorry. But I love you very much, and I can't wait to visit you in Tennessee.
So, my name is Preston, father of the bride. So first of all, before I start talking about them, I just thank you all. Doretha, Heather, and I are just so happy to have all of you here just to celebrate these two weddings, this reception today. Now we got to talk about Grace and Jamichael. Grace and I are a lot alike. Neither one of us wants attention on herself. So this is not comfortable for me. This is not comfortable for her. So we're going to talk about Jamichael. So Jamichael here, so I got to start with Grace because that's where it came in. I hear that, so Grace is not one to go out and socialize and drag up conversations, especially with strange men. And so I hear that somebody asked for her phone number. That's something big for Grace, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. Okay, good for Grace. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, who is this guy? You know, we're part of the Narrowway Theater, and you know, we get new cast members. So I'm thinking new cast member. I'm thinking maybe it's part of this Bible study. No, this guy's a monster who scares people with a chainsaw. Jamichael, first impressions? Not good. So me, as a dad, as any parent would have to do, when you hear the story here, you've got to figure out, do a little bit of reconnaissance, try and figure out who this guy is, who's about to take out your daughter. So don't judge me here. Facebook stalking is perfectly okay in this situation. I didn't find out much. I did find out, and it is clear on your Facebook page, this is a man who loves God, but a lot of people love God on Facebook, right? Heather, on the other hand, had a little bit more success, connected with the Pendarvises, and little did we know that we've known the Pendarvises for over a decade, and then we found out that their son Cody is best friends with Jermichael, and they said that he checks out. So, first day. Jermichael, I mean, we know that you're real. That conversation, with those conversations you had with Grace at first, it was about God and her relationship with God, and you're already looking forward into her. And so that's pretty special. And so when you look at this guy who claims to be a Christian, loves God, okay, so let's just see what his patience is like. And if you want to know patience, so Emma alluded to it. Why she doesn't have her own room is Grace has got 8 brothers and sisters. That's why Emma does not get her own room. Jermichael went with us for 7 days on vacation to Florida with Grace, 8 brothers and sisters, all younger, Heather and I plus Grandma. Now, if you want to test the guy to see what his patience is really like, I was impressed with the way that he engaged the kids because generally most guys, when Grace is not around, he's going to go off by himself. But no, he just engaged the kids. He just loves the kids. Jermichael, you are a person. You've just got such a big heart. You love God passionately, and you seek to love others and serve them, and you want to pour into their lives. And for that, I know Heather and I are just very proud of you for being a part of the family and starting life with Grace. And we've got Grace. So, this is where I got up. This is my first point. This is the only person in our family who's ever experienced being an only child. And Grace, you've joked with me on how you were the child that, especially me, Heather was a natural, that I had to learn with. And that's so true. So we're telling pregnancy stories here from Jamie. Just a few months before Grace was born, I just remember a friend of ours had a baby, and the father wanted me to hold the baby, and I was just reluctant to do so because I've just never done anything like that. And so then when Grace was born, Heather went in for a bath, and she's sleeping in the bassinet all by herself. It's just me and her in the room. And of course she starts crying. I've never done anything with a baby. I want to get Heather out of the bath. I'm looking for a nurse, but obviously there's no one there. And so I had, of course I picked her up. And it's through there, and Emma didn't share any of the stories where I continued to learn how to be a dad, so we'll keep those. She was going to share a couple, but she cut those out. But Grace is a person, she just loves. One of the things I really, which you'll know about Grace, you're just so observant. You notice the nuance in life, and because of that, she's not very outspoken, but if you listen to her, she's just so funny with the simple observations of life. But as a person, as a young teen, she started serving Sunday school weekly for 5 years straight with the same group of kids. At our home group, and some of the people are here tonight from our home group, that she led the kids. We met with a small group from church, the whole family, and Grace led those kids. At one time, she led the kids to raise enough money to buy 150 Bibles for Christians at Voice of the Martyrs. She started her own summer camp where she had weeks, 15 to 20 kids a week come over, and she ran this 4 or maybe even 5 years where kids are running through the house. So we could just go on, but Grace, you know, I love you, your mom loves you, and the entire family loves you. And this is who Grace is. So I have to say about this marriage snuck up on me. Okay, it wasn't something I expected. It wasn't something and everybody heard me ask a lot of questions. What's going on here? Who is this guy? But one of the things that's just God's providence. So you all know, most of you know Jermichael. You know his work with Victory Sports. You know what he's done at the summer camps. You know his love for people, for youth, and for kids. But then you've got Grace here, who's literally down the road doing the same thing. And we are a part of Victory Sports. Never crossed. There's the Keys. So Dixie Keys here, she's got her 4 kids. Guess what? Jermichael was her coach. Grace was her camp counselor. And so if you talk about kids who got excited, this is like 2 superheroes colliding. Is what's happening right here. We love you guys. We're so excited about what God's created here and what you guys are going to be able to do in Tennessee. And what you've already done individually, you're going to be able to do more so as a couple. And we're so excited for you. We'll be praying for you, and we look forward to it. Love you.